Almost everyone get their seats. I think we're getting ready. So to our new arrivals, Mr. Ambassador, the Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, and to those online, good afternoon from Oslo. So on behalf of Viktor Ryan and the Norwegian-Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce, or NUCC, as you all know it, so we'll stay with that. Very pleased to welcome you to this year's networking meeting. My name is Kjetil Bø. I'm a partner here in Viktor Ryan. I have also the privilege of serving as chairman of the board of NUCC. We are a long-standing member and supporter of NUCC since its formation back in 2008. It's great to see such strong participation. We have a full house and both members, partners, and this engagement is extremely important as a sign of the growing and continuing support of Norway for Ukraine, and also the relevance of Norway for Ukraine, and not the least vice versa, which I think we're also coming back to. This year's program reflects the urgency that is actually with us at the moment, but also on the opportunities. We will focus on how business community can play a role in supporting Ukraine. And we are joined with speakers from both Ukrainian and Norwegian authorities, and we will get updates from a very important but still relatively newcomer to Ukraine, the Norwegian financial institution Norfund, in addition to other key players working on the ground. Particularly looking forward to our panel discussions, where Ukrainian and Norwegian business leaders will share real-world examples of successful collaboration and concrete ways of engaging with Ukraine's economy today. We will also give you updates on the Chamber's activity, including the progress of the Norwegian-Ukrainian Business Hub in Kyiv. That was set up as recently as in April, with support from Norwegian authorities and in collaboration with Innovation Norway. It's already playing a key role in supporting Ukrainian companies and building capacity on the ground. We also have representatives from our office here today. I think Natala is standing over there. So maybe you want to wave at least so people can see you. So this is who you're going to meet when you arrive in Kyiv at our very nice office. We also have other guests here today. Some of them will take the stage later to give first-hand insights in the ongoing transformation of Ukraine's economy, business climate, and society. And we look forward to hearing that. The message, though, is clear. The time to act is now, and the urgency must be met with equal resolve from our side. We know this is not over immediately or in the short or medium term, but our efforts must stay focused and be increased. This is our common fight, as we all know. Let me also take a moment to express and share our deep sympathy with and admiration for the Ukrainian people who continue to endure immense suffering at the hands of Russia, and their strength and resilience are nothing short of extraordinary. And we know that attacks are being reinforced and redoubled as we speak. And we are now entering into the main season for on-the-ground warfare, unfortunately. So this summer is going to be critical, and our thoughts are with you. As I said, that means that cross-border collaboration is as important as ever. Ukraine is defending not only its own territory, but our shared democratic values, and that demands our continued commitment, both economically, politically, and morally. At the Chamber, we are committed to staying agile and relevant. 2024 was a record year for activity. And in 2025, we aim even higher. We will continue to expand our presence in Ukraine, strengthen our programs for engagement on the ground, and serve as a bridge between Ukrainian and Nordic business communities. And I'd like to thank Norad and Norwegian their support to NUCC, which is of course crucial for our ability to deliver. Also, I did it a little earlier. We had our annual meeting before the rest of you arrived, but also thanking our administration in NUCC and our board members who commit their time and tremendous efforts to the cause. So thank you very much. So we're moving on to the program, and we have a full day ahead of us. So let's get started. First of all, I would like to introduce the newly arrived Ukrainian ambassador to Norway, Mr. Alexei Gavrish. You're warmly welcome here to Oslo. We have met already. I know you are looking forward to your posting and continue the good cooperation and relations. So, Mr. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
Today use.
No, you can speak.
I have enough voice.
Yeah, hold the microphone.
Yeah. First of all, hello, and thank you for your warm welcoming. I'm very happy and honored to be here. Thank you for invitation. And today I will not speak about energy as you expect, as usual, but we will speak about their investment potential and a partnership we started together since the first day of full impact. So we're really grateful for Norway to support us during these challenging times. So thank you for your warm welcome to this General Assembly. You know that almost 3 years Ukraine is fighting against Russia, demonstrating unwavering readiness to defend the democratic, civilized world. This war inflicted great damage on the Ukrainian economy. High security risk, damage to energy facilities, and shortage of skilled workers continue to put pressure on our economy. Today, Ukraine and Norway have everything. I want to make a stress, have everything for the dynamic development of our economic relation. We share a history of working together in highly sophisticated industries like renewable energy, and we see that collaboration extending to other vital sectors. In 2024, our bilateral trade is good, increased in 3% compared to previous year, marking yet another record year. We are optimistic that the ongoing modification of the free trade agreement between Ukraine and FTA states, including Norway, will help us build a new level of economic partnership. Given our limited resources, the Ukrainian government focused on the most urgent needs: a strong defense industry, an export-oriented agricultural and industrial complex, engineering industry production high value-added products, and the energy sector are crucial for building a wartime economy and dynamic economic growth. Once again, I wish to express our sincere gratitude to Norway for your strong position and supporting us during this, as I say, challenging time. And as we, you know, I'm from business. So as we are, as investors say, usually nothing builds trust like joint investments. And in my homeland, we say that it's a big mistake to do business on the basis of friendship. But it's a great chance to be friends on the basics of a business. Let's start our not a partnership, but fellowship of Ukraine and Norway. Thank you, and let's start it, do it since today. Not waste time. Do business today. Screw it. Just do it.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. As we said, yes, screw it, do it. I think it's a very good, it's a very good summary of what we need to do. And thank you for that. And again, warm welcome. And we hope that your posting here will be successful. We're also very glad to have representatives of the Norwegian government here today. So I'd like to welcome to the stage for opening remarks the Deputy Minister of Trade, Vegard Wennesland. We really appreciate the support from the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you, Kjetil, Ambassador Gavrish, Ambassador Hansen, Chairman Bø, and dear friends of Ukraine. Good afternoon, and let me first offer my gratitude to the Chamber of Commerce for organizing this annual networking event, and of course to Vikborg Rein for hosting us. My boss, Cecilie Myrseth, the Minister of Trade and Industry, she wanted to be here, but has a tight schedule and was not available. But as those who have met her know, she remains committed to working with Ukraine. And just earlier today, she hosted a meeting in the government's Ukraine Forum. That's a forum that gathers businesses and organizations to discuss how we can support Ukraine and increase the cooperation. So she sends her best regards to all of you. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to the industry clusters visiting from Ukraine. Meeting places like this is important to make the ties between our two countries even stronger. And Ambassador Gavrish, it's nice to see you again. We met a few days ago only at the ministry, and we look forward to working with you and to continue the constructive cooperation with your team with Ihor and Oksana. It is almost hard to comprehend that the war is raging on in its fourth year. The Ukrainian people's courage is beyond impressive, and we share your goal for a free, independent, and sovereign Ukraine. More than ever, it is of the utmost importance that the international community stands up for Ukraine and shows their support. Peace and security in Ukraine is a prerequisite for peace and security in Europe. Norway and Ukraine enjoys a long-standing partnership when it comes to trade and business. Despite the ongoing war, bilateral trade has performed remarkably well in these last few years. And in fact, trade between our countries is currently at an all-time high, both in terms of value and companies involved. We are very pleased to see continued strong engagement for Ukraine from Norwegian businesses. Trade and investments from the private sector are key to keep wheels of the Ukrainian economy going, also while the war is raging. And Norwegian companies can and must play an important part when the recovery, in the recovery and the rebuilding of Ukraine. Partnerships with Ukrainian businesses with local knowledge and expertise is key in this respect. We are therefore very pleased with the new Norwegian-Ukrainian business hub in Kyiv, which was launched by the minister during her visit in April. And I assume many of you also were present there. The hub, which is an expansion of NUCC's presence and Innovation Norway's new Kyiv office, will serve as a platform for businesses for both countries. It will facilitate direct cooperation and connection, unlock new opportunities, and drive bilateral trade and investment forward. I've been told that the interest for the opening of the hub was immense, not least from the Ukrainian side. This is very positive and gives great hopes for an increased cooperation between Norwegian and Ukrainian companies. I understand that a point of contact for Norwegian companies in Ukraine has been in demand. Innovation Norway in Kyiv reports that several Norwegian companies reach out for information and market insight. This promises well for the rebuild of Ukraine and for future cooperation between businesses in our two countries. While she was in Ukraine, Minister Myrseth, on behalf of Norway, also signed the modernized free trade agreement between EFTA and Ukraine, as the ambassador was talking about. This new agreement will open new opportunities for trade and business cooperation between our two countries. The modernized agreement achieves significant liberalization in trades of goods and adds a chapter on e-commerce, trade and sustainable development, small and medium enterprises, and cooperation. Furthermore, it updates the chapter on intellectual property rights and government procurement. Moreover, this agreement represents an important milestone in close cooperation between our two countries and in Ukraine's continued economic integration with Europe. It is our ambition that the agreement will serve as an instrument in the reconstruction of Ukraine and contribute to growth by creating new opportunities for business, industry, and citizens. I am confident that the modernized EFTA-Ukrainian Free Trade Agreement will provide a sound basis for a predictable framework for trade and cooperation in Ukraine. Dear friends, many of us met in Berlin last year. And when the next Ukraine Recovery Conference takes place in Rome in July, Minister Myrseth will head the Norwegian delegation. This conference is an important high-level meeting platform for supporting Ukraine, and the minister hopes to see you in Rome with the Ukrainian counterparts. We are pleased that Innovation Norway, NUCC, and relevant partners will organize an event with the aim to further development and strengthening Norwegian-Ukrainian business cooperation in the margins of the conference. The message from previous events remains the same. Ukraine will be rebuilt. And make no mistake, Norway is committed to be a key player in that process. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Vegard. And as I said, the clear and demonstrated commitment by the political leadership in the ministry is very appreciated. And we know the minister is really have a big heart for our efforts here. So we thank you for that. We also have the newly appointed Norwegian ambassador to Ukraine with us today, Lars Hansen. Can I ask you also to give a few words on your the doorstep to your new assignment? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Kjetil. Thank you very, very much for the invitation to come here today and meet with all of you. That is very nice. Thank you, Ambassador, for your warm regards, and likewise to the Deputy Minister. First of all, I have, of course, not taken up my new assignment yet. I will only arrive in Kyiv at the end of the summer. And I am very lucky. I will come there, and it will all be set up with a new business hub that has been established. More very much is already in place for Norwegian businesses to come to Ukraine and have a help or the assistance you need on the ground. I am very dedicated to work with it in the time ahead, in the years to come, to really make more Norwegian businesses come to Ukraine to work there and to work with Ukrainian counterparts. As Ambassador was saying, there is a huge potential. I've worked with Ukraine for many years on and off, and we have been aware of this potential. It is now great to see that so many people in the business community really appreciate it and step forward. The newly appointed head of the Innovation Norway office in Kyiv reports that there is great interest from Norwegian businesses, and I find this very, very positive. As the Deputy Minister was referring to, business cooperation remains a priority for the Norwegian government, and I will be determined to follow this up in Kyiv to the best of my ability. The cooperation with NUCC, with the Innovation Norway, and of course with the Ukrainian authorities, both here in Oslo and in Kyiv, will be essential for us. But also the efforts of every one of you. Because as Kjetil said in his introduction, sadly, the war is still raging. And we cannot stand here today and promise you that this will end soon. I wish I could. But our main priority from the side of the Norwegian MFA, from the side of the embassy, will be to support Ukraine in its war efforts. For the foreseeable future, that will be our #1 priority. And for that reason, also, the embassy might not always be exactly what you, from the business side, would like it to be. I hope we will get there. I hope we can still be very useful to you. But I think also NUCC and Innovation Norway, as our key partners in this, will be very, very important in the years to come. And I look forward to continue working with you in that. So with those few words, thank you very much for inviting me. I look very much forward to getting to know many more of you in the years to come. I'm sure there is much we can do and should do together. And I'm absolutely convinced there is a role for Norwegian businesses to play in Ukraine. And surely also, increasingly, we see Ukrainian businesses in Norway. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good, Lars Einar. That's very good to know. And we also very much appreciate the cooperation with the embassy, which we've had for a number of years. And we hope to continue on the same path. That's clearly the ambition. Thank to our distinguished guests, and we will move on to the rest of the program. And I will give the word to Kjartan Tveitnes, our Managing Director. And you will talk a little bit about, is that right?
First we'll go to Norfund.
Oh, we go to Norfund, yes. Fantastic. Then I ask Simon to come here and talk about it. Please, Simon. Very exciting, thank you.
Dear ambassadors, Deputy Minister, friends, thank you for being here. My name is Simon. I'm from Norfund, newly appointed operational head of our recently established Ukraine fund. And I think the ambassador set the ambition. Let's start doing business now. We hear the ask and we'll try to deliver. So NUCC is created to serve Norwegian and Ukrainian businesses with key focus areas on economic development and leveraging bilateral business opportunities. So what I will try to do in the next 10 minutes is to tell you how we fit into that and how we can help Ukrainian businesses and Norwegian businesses that establish themselves in Ukraine succeed. I'm also joined by my colleague, William Green, Investment Director with responsibility for energy. So very short about Norfund. Norfund is owned by the Norwegian government. It has 3 mandates, used to have 2, now it also has a Ukraine mandate. We are an investor that invests in commercially viable enterprises across 4 priority sectors, which I'll come back to. And our current footprint looks like this. So quite a lot of LATAM, Asia, Africa, but now also Ukraine. We have a portfolio of 43 billion NOK across 250 direct companies and more than 1,000 indirect investments. And since inception in 1997, we've delivered an IRR of 8%. So, investment strategy for Ukraine. We know the backdrop, it's gruesome, and I don't need to spend time on it. But I'd like to point out one thing, and that is that the current reconstruction needs is roughly 10 times the annual government revenues of Ukraine. Private sector is needed. But while the backdrop is dark, there are also opportunities. You can look at opportunities from two macro lenses. One is how Ukraine's peers transformed after obtaining their freedom, with Poland experiencing an increase in GDP of 7 times, and Eastern European EU members being among the best places to do business in the world. But you can also look at Ukraine specifically and look at the pace and speed at which it is implementing reforms and towards integrating into the European economy. You can look towards its human capital with an educated population. You can look towards its IT sector, agri, manufacturing, its natural resources. So Ukraine can be a European growth story as well. For Norfund, we invest in these different sectors. So we invest in agriculture, manufacturing, renewable energy, financial institutions, and our newly established green infrastructure. I'll say something about the opportunities within each of them. Within agriculture, what we see is that logistics and infrastructure is needed, actually for trade in general, to reroute it towards the West. We see opportunities in value-added processing, adding more value to Ukrainian commodities before they are exported. We see opportunities in productivity-enhancing tech and services that adds also more value and productivity to Ukrainian agriculture. Within manufacturing, nearshoring is an obvious opportunity as the integration with Europe continues. Reconstruction materials, sadly, but it will deliver financial results down the line. Renewable energy, after almost 40,000 different attacks on the Ukrainian power system, obviously generation capacity is needed. That includes large IPP projects within renewables. It includes distributed renewable energy and balancing capacity, batteries and others. Financial institutions. Ukrainian banks have been resilient, but we believe that growth will pick up as peace breaks out. And the insurance market is very underpenetrated in Ukraine. Then green infrastructure, honestly, we don't see that many opportunities right now, but it is within our investment scope. So if you have some, please come to us. And then a couple of words on what kind of investments we do. In terms of instruments, in our mandate, we are lucky enough to be able to use all of Norfund's instruments. That means everything from your senior debt, collateralized, slightly boring for us investment professionals, to the equity and everything in between. So we have a large flexibility to custom make instruments that suits Ukrainian business or Norwegian business, but it needs to be commercial. There needs to be an IRR, needs to be a return. We take maximum 35% ownership in companies. That means we are a minority partner. We pull our weight. We try to be active, but we will never go above 35% of the company. We invest between $5 and $20 million per investment. And what that means is that if you're going to do maximum 35% of a company and that's going to be 20 million or 5 million, you actually also need to have a company that is in a growth phase. Unfortunately, not a startup. That is not what we're mandated to do. We want the money to go towards Ukrainian growth, not buying out other shareholders. So maximum 50% of our investments can go to buying out others. Maximum. We don't prefer it. Sometimes it's necessary. And when it comes to ESG and business integrity, you don't have to be perfect today, but we wanted a commitment to improve. Pipeline. What are we doing in Ukraine? Since starting 6 months ago, we have seen opportunities come across our desk of actually now it's closer to 5 billion NOK. We have looked closer at 1 billion NOK of opportunities. These are various projects that are coming our way. And we're currently in due diligence on projects equivalent to 0.5 billion NOK, or 500 million. And this compares to our capital allocation. So money goes out the door quite fast. And these are some sample projects. We are now doing projects in agri, private equity, industrial parks, and we're working with an energy producer. Now, lastly, how it is to work with us and how we can work with you. So who is it that we can work with? Well, it can be a Ukrainian business and it could be a Norwegian business. We don't favor Norwegian businesses. We'd like to work with you, but we don't favor you. And it can be about setting up a JV in Ukraine, setting up, expanding operations that you already have there. Talk to us, and we'll see if it fits. We're quite flexible. And what do we bring to the table? First of all, we bring long-term equity or debt. We don't have a fund that with a fixed life, so we do have some flexibility, but we want to be commercial, so we need our money back at some point. And then we bring sector experience, drawing on Norfund's broader portfolio and our investment professionals there. On the ground networks we're building. And then we are a strategic minority investor, which means that we sit on boards, we try to work with you to make your business successful. We bring a stamp of approval, given Norfund's good reputation, and we do bring avenues to government. Last slide. Avoid the details, but just something about the process. So describe your business idea to us, see if it fits the sort of investment criteria, describe it to us. If it works, we'll set down a team and we'll take it through a 2-stage approval process with our investment committee. These are some of the typical things we will look at, financial, commercial, ESG, etc., as we move through the investment process. And how to get in touch? Here's the email, my email, William's email, and our Ukraine email. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Simen, for that presentation. We've been working to get Norfund on board for quite some time, and it's a very big pleasure to have you now so focused on Ukraine, and I'm very glad to see that your pipeline is already quite full.
Full success.
Yeah. So let's keep pushing on that, and also for more funding eventually to come towards Norfund. Yeah, so now I will have a little bit of a few minutes to talk about what we do in the chamber before we will have a panel debate or a talk in the panel here between some Ukrainian companies and some Norwegian companies to talk about what they actually do when they trade with Norway and Ukraine. You've seen this probably before, but this is still us. This is still what we do. We enable our members and Norwegian companies, Ukrainian companies to increase trade and business cooperation between Norway and Ukraine. We support you, our members and partners, to strive for a positive economic development in Ukraine. We have specific colleagues that works with IT professional services, Natalia, manufacturing, Anastasia, seafood agriculture, Andreas, energy infrastructure, Sigbjørn. And I'm also very glad that we've now been able to add on additional talent with Maya here in Oslo as a communication director. I don't know if she's in the back there waving. We also have Natalia Babanina here from our Kyiv office, Olga Pilushna, and she also here. It's store, okay. And Dmitry Primak. So it's still us, but we have now started from January 1st a new 3-year period with Norfund, enabling us to have additional ambitions for 25, 26, and 27. Part of which is to open this Norwegian-Ukrainian business hub that has been mentioned, which is a NUCC representative office in Ukraine. We're very glad to be co-located with Innovation Norway, just out the door from the embassy. So we're a strong Team Norway network in Kyiv. We can provide market insights, capacity building for Ukrainian SMEs. We will tailored support for doing business with Ukraine and market entry. And of course, and access to trusted local networks in Ukraine. So when in Kyiv, please knock on our door at Peremokha. This is then Olga, who's at the door, and Natalia here, and also Anastasia, who is also our country manager for Ukraine. Also, just want to touch upon that we had this opening ceremony on April 8th. That was a big success. We had capacity for 200 people. There was over 300 people that wanted to be at the door. But it was a very good evening with engaging panel discussions and business dialogue. We had high-level political and business participation from both countries. With Cecilia Mioset, the Norwegian Minister of Trade and Industry, and German Galushenko, the Minister of Energy, leading. Cecilia Mioset, she was in Kyiv, as was mentioned, to sign this EFTA treaty, this new free trade agreement between Ukraine and EFTA. As was mentioned, it needs ratifications in the parliament, but it provides for significant reductions and complete elimination of tariffs eventually. So we have just this week actually got this one-pager produced that we can share to all here on what lies ahead. It will simplify trade between Norway and Ukraine, both in digitalization and documentation. So it's good news. The bad news is that it's expected to enter force in 2027. But we need to be ready when it hits the ground. Also, we get a lot of questions on what is the financial toolbox that is available for Ukrainian companies and also Norwegian companies. So I just want to touch upon what is the Norwegian toolbox available today. As of now, the NUCC support program is approximately 205 billion Norwegian kroners. It's been growing substantially and is this year 85 billion NOK, 73 million going to the military support, 12 billion going to the civilian support to Ukraine. So of those 12 billion, 750 million kroners is available for on-bound private sector business development. This is mostly working multilaterally, meaning that NUCC, who is in charge of the civilian part of the NUCC support program, work with EBRD, with UNDP, World Bank, etc. And by the way, World Bank is coming to Oslo next week on June 19th. So there will be a business seminar there. We will make sure, if you haven't already gotten an invitation, we can send it out. Norfund, Simon, he just presented their mandate, 250 million annually. Export Finance Norway, I see Ståle was also here from Export Finance Norway, have its Ukraine fund totaling 613 million kroners. NUCC business support scheme totaling 30 million in last year, has doubled to 60 million this year. But all of these need good, bankable business cases. So please, if you have them, bring them, because that is the bottleneck here. We need to promote that this toolbox is available, and it is. It has a landing page, it has an apply button. So please look into it or ask us. Because we are also part of this toolbox, as we are also supported by NUCC, as mentioned. Together with our good partners, Innovation Norway, who has our neighbors in Peremokha with Ole Helnes, their country manager, and also his team here in Oslo. And I also want to stress that they also administer this EEA grants, totaling 3.2 billion euros in the next 7-year period, which can some of it also be eligible for Ukrainian activity. So if you're interested in talking about that, talk to us, or even better, talk to Elizabeth from Innovation Norway, who's in the back here. Also, there are some defense-related private sector business development opportunities available. We would then, you can then also talk to FFI, the Armed Forces Research Institute. I don't know what the English
Defense Research Establishment.
exactly. That's what he said. So that's the toolbox as it is today. So it could be useful for everyone to sort of have scope from. So if we look at the trade, we already heard that it is all-time high. This is the trade of goods. You can see it was a 3% increase in 24, and so far this year it's actually up close to 70% just in the first 4 months. The driver of this growth is chiefly Norwegian seafood to Ukraine. Ukraine is the largest export market for Norwegian trout, actually. So a lot of it goes to human consumption, but also to reprocessing and for human consumption or to re-export to EU. Also, what we see is a very good increase from Norwegian imports from Ukraine, and that's on agricultural products going into the Norwegian fish feed ingredients. So that's something we see will grow. We hope, and we do believe that this will grow substantially in the coming years. Maybe to the same point as the Norwegian exports today. So what is our role in this? Our mandate stands strong and critical, has been critical in that wartime challenges. And our key messages to you is that trade is doing strong. Keeping the economy active is essential for Ukraine. Otherwise, the war on the front will be even more difficult or impossible to conduct. The financial toolbox is available, as I've shown you, looking for bankable projects. That goes for all of them in the total side here. And now is the time to position your company for taking part in this recovery, not later. We cannot wait till the war ends. That's not an option. And the time for positive Norwegian impact on Ukrainian both business climate and business and as such is now. So just briefly on our activity plans for the coming year, we will send this out to you. But rest assured, we have a lot of arenas. Last year we had 34 arenas. So we should have something to cater to most of the needs here. We have this Ukraine Recovery Conference in Rome coming up today, and this week we have this Ukrainian Cluster Alliance delegation that's here. They will talk more about that in the panel following us. We will have a Ukraine roadshow together with the embassy to big cities in Norway. And we will have delegations both to the Levite Arena. We're doing a F3 fish forum for fish and feed in Ukraine coming up this fall. Again, this Young Entrepreneurs Program that we're very, very proud to have with 180 people having taken part in the alumni. And we will be doing capacity building courses in Odessa, Vinnytsia, Chernivtsi, also Ivano-Frankivsk now, if I understand correctly, just after summer. And the large Rebuild Ukraine conference in Warsaw in November, we will also take part together with our good partners in Norway and also with the pavilion that is headed by Innovation. So if you have any questions, talk to me, talk to my colleagues, or contact us at post@NUCC. Now I would like to give the floor to my good colleague Andreas, who will moderate the panel discussion. Yes. Add a big thank you to our chairman of the board for all his efforts that he's doing for the chamber and for Ukraine, and also for letting us stay here at this beautiful venue.
Thank you, Kjartan. Can we speak everywhere here in the panel also, or should I send the microphone microphone around?
It's in the roof.
It's in the roof. Yeah. It's we who installed it, right? Yeah. Next up, and the final part of this program today is the panel discussion. It's not a panel debate. We are actually more trying to open up the window of opportunities together between Norway and Ukraine to open it even wider. Some years ago, for those who have followed us, it has been a lot of emphasis on very important companies in IT, which is the second biggest export sector for Ukraine, but also in energy, which is of course crucial to Ukraine's resilience and to people's general lives. But today we also have some few sectors that maybe not so many are aware of that has been explored and that we would like to showcase today. So could we please have our panel contestants up on stage? Mr. Jacek, you are here, and Even Egom, and Dennis Sviatogum should be here. And also our project manager in Ukraine, Natalia Babanina. Yeah, so as I mentioned, some new sectors and some a little bit showcasing our work. I remember when I started NUCC, some people asked, or there were some rumors that we were walking around drinking coffee. That must have been before my time, because yes, we drink a lot of coffee, but that's not our main things we're doing. We're also doing everything else between in our bilateral trade, and hopefully we can showcase some of it today. Let's start off with speaking about the sector that Ukraine, or that Norway is only now, not Norway, NUCC is only now starting to explore. It's a sector that's a little bit unfortunate result from the situation in Ukraine, but a very important sector, and possibly a sector where Norway could contribute much more than we maybe would have thoughts. So Dennis Sviatogum, you have two functions here today, and we will tap in on what I just presented afterwards. First, let me introduce you. You are the head of the coalition of this Ukrainian Cluster Alliance that are here in Norway now these days, and also the chairman of the Ukrainian Dual Use Technology Cluster. And with you, you have 4 more clusters, right?
We're here, yeah, right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's medical cluster,
medical, aerospace, cybersecurity, and design, and industry.
And industry, yeah. So interesting sectors there that maybe many are not so aware of. Could you tell us a little bit about what the Cluster Alliance? Who are you, and why do you exist?
Well, thank you for your inviting, and I'm appreciate to be here, like head of our delegation, and it's second time we come here after your invitation. And first of all, we have inside our Ukrainian Cluster Alliance more than 40 different clusters from different regions and different areas. And right now, if you know the pyramid of Maslow that we all of us know, based on the first stage, it's security. And for our country, security it's most important for right now areas when we're trying to put all our energy and experience. And we bring here lots of different clusters that trying to connect and to cooperate to build this stability and partnership. And for Ukraine, our Norwegian partners, potential partners, I think should be the most important for the faster, as fast as possible to us. And my cluster that I represent, it's Ukrainian dual use cluster. It's a bridge between the defense and civilian sector, and we're trying to promote the innovation and technology because I think it should be driver of economy of Ukraine, and we hope it will be a driver of economy of Norway too. That's why I'm established with my colleagues this cluster. And but another our friends that come here, it's not less important because I think the medical part of Ukraine and medical experience we should to share and should involve with your part, with the Norwegian part. And others from the space and with the cyber security. It's a part of this security chain in all of this. And I think we can build this real bridge between our businesses with Norway. And thanks for your leading of this process.
I think so too. And remember, today you have the chance. We have clusters: medical cluster, fashion cluster, industrial cluster, space cluster, and cybersecurity and defense, and dual-use cluster. So reach out to people that you maybe didn't network with before and see if there are some synergies. Sigbjørn Albertsen, our good colleague, you are there. You just came now from Denmark, but last time, I haven't spoken with you after your Denmark trip, but last time you went to Kyiv. You came back to the office and said, by the way, for some explanation why we had this conversation, he has lead on seeing how NUCC can contribute in the dual-use sector. And last time you came back, Sigbjørn, you said that you might as well move to Kyiv because it's so much going on there. Is it a lot going on in the dual-use sector in Ukraine?
Yes, we should to start it. And I think it's the simplest way to start to make the joint ventures or joint R&Ds.
But you have already started, no?
In Ukraine, yes, but
Yes.
not with the Norwegian
Not with the Norwegian partners. Okay, so that's what you're missing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hope after this our coming we'll start on the ground of Ukraine.
Yeah, and as we have had the talks, we also met in Truskavets, and in Truskavets I met many drone producers. They are popping up like. That sounded very bad, but they're popping up a lot of places now. There are more than 500 registered drone producers only in Ukraine now.
Yes, and it's growing up for now because we have a lots of startups in the drone sector. Because when the full invasion started, all our experts trying and to invite and involve all our engineers to create and complete the drones on their kitchen, on their garage, and lots of our people that have two hands trying to do it. And I think it's a good potential for our engineering possibilities, and we can share this experience with you. And yes, more than 500 manufacturers of drones, but lots of manufacturers of components for drones. For now, Ukraine, I think, change all components that we bring for the Chinese only chips we should deliver from them.
And we
should to share it and to grow and scale of this manufacturing.
And when we speak about drones, we're not only speaking about military, we're speaking about drones for the future and dual-use drones for observation and for understanding.
That's right. We have a lots of production of drones that comes from the civilian sector. This reverse drone. For the history, some technologies created in the defense and then make the transfer to the civilian. But from the post invasion, lots of our agriculture experts and that's production drones for the agriculture, they use their experience in the defense sector and dual use. And it is right dual use.
Right. And what's the needs from abroad? What are you looking for when you think abroad for international partners? We can read now that Renault, which is a big international car maker, are entering Ukraine in the dual-use technology. But you also have all these smaller and medium-sized companies. What are they looking for when they look abroad, or what are they hoping for?
First of all, they're looking for the funding because we haven't enough funding and financing for our possibilities. Right now, for the statistics in Ukraine, for the procurement possibilities of Ukrainian, it's nearby $6 billion. But possibilities of our manufacture and production, it's near the $40 billion. It's a very good opportunity to all of us and to produce more components for all the world and change the Chinese components. And I think it would change to us.
Other sectors like communication sectors or other dual-use sectors. how do you enter that market?
We're trying to bring lots of high-tech components from your side, and it's interesting to insert it and include it in the full cycle of production, and it can be interesting too. And that's why we are looking for the partners from Denmark that can create some components and put inside in our full products that we can finish together.
Sounds good. It was, thank you very much, Dennis. We also had some, it was Norfund who mentioned that, there you are, who mentioned that you had on the slide to the right there, you had green infrastructure, that you said that was unfortunately a little bit difficult, but don't worry, we have something here today. Yes, we do. We have Cambi here today. It's a Norwegian company, but represented today by Mr. Jacek.
Yep.
Kostrzekiewicz.
Okay,
almost, right? Yeah. You're the regional sales manager in Eastern Europe for Cambi. And back in 2020, you signed a contract together with a consortium of Slovenian companies. So it's really multilateral, called RICO, to upgrade a wastewater treatment plant in the Lviv region.
Exactly.
Then the Russian invasion on Ukraine happened, and your project was suspended at all. Could you tell us a little bit about Cambi and about this project?
Cambi is the company from Asker, close to Oslo. We hire about 250 people worldwide. And we deliver the technologies for the wastewater treatment, and mainly to produce the green energy from the sludge which is produced during the waste treatment process in the wastewater treatment plant. So right now, we restarted the project in Ukraine. It was stopped for about 2 years. And our Ukrainian partners insisted to restart the project despite the status of war in the country. And in the autumn last year, we restarted the project. Right now, we are installing the first elements of the future new part of the wastewater treatment plant in Lviv.
Can I ask you what changed? Why it's clear why it was stopped, but what had to change for you to restart the project again?
I would say that internally in the Lviv, this is the west part of the Ukraine, which is less affected by the war than the east part of the country. So our Ukrainian colleagues pushed us quite hardly to restart the project despite the potential danger. But the general market environment was not, I would say, supporting the business activities. For example, a very high cost or not possible to insure the workers in the zone of war. Then very big problems with finding the workers in the country. So this situation today is changed, not let's say like in a normal country which is not affected by the war, but the conditions allow to realize the project. Also the prices of the raw materials, which originally increased tremendously when the war started, went back to more or less the previous level. So that's also important. So basically, the business environment today is much better than it was in the first year when Russia invaded the Ukraine.
More uncertainty back then.
Yes,
and,
more certainty today.
Yeah, because sometimes what you mentioned now, I wonder if the situation has improved a lot, or if we are just getting used to it, and then people or companies that have been there for a while are starting to understand it differently after time. What's your take on that?
Well, I would say that both.
A bit of both.
Yeah, I would say that both, because we were also seeking the way how to restart the project. It was not only the matter of the financing. It was we had many organizational problems, which we still have, by the way. For example, hiring the workers, the local workers, the local companies in Ukraine is still quite difficult because especially in the construction field, typically the men work in such construction sites. And from the other side, hiring a man is limited and restricted by the Ukrainian regulation and the possibility of being mobilized and participate in the war. So all these problems we have to in some way overcome. Also trying to import the workers from the other countries are not affected by the Ukrainian regulation related to the military services.
And short on the financing and the risk, because you mentioned now we talked about a lot of risk or challenges with the workforce and with simply understanding from the beginning how the future will look like. But how did you mitigate on the risk? Do you have backing from some international financial institutions? Yeah. Do you have insurances, or how is that?
Yeah,
it's a big project.
It's a big project. That's true. First, originally the risk was limited because the project is co-financed by several Western financial institutions. The 50% of the project is financed by the EBRD, then the Norwegian Export Finance, NEFCO, and some other institutions. And only part is financed by the city of Lviv itself. So, and it's very small part is financed. So that's 50%. It is financed from the loan from the EBRD, and another 50 in general from different type of grants by the financial institutions. So when we overcome the problem of the insurances, I mean, when the prices of the insurance drop to the reasonable level, then we were able to restart the project. Otherwise, it would be rather difficult.
And I'm assuming that it's not only in that region where you can clean the water and produce, I guess. How's the future prospects? How are you looking? Are you ready to go deeper inside of Ukraine? Like you said,
yes, we started already the penetration of the Ukrainian market long time before the war. Of course, our marketing activity in this country was reduced substantially because we may just have the online meetings, while before we were traveling extensively to Ukraine, presenting our technology and the profits and so on. We have some other projects being developed in Odessa. We have the project in Vinnytsia, which has the chance to be rise. So I believe that in a short period there will be much more similar plans. We closely cooperate with the Ukrainian Water Association in this matter.
Do you need partners, or have you got it all covered and I just
No, we need partners. Right now we are establishing the company there for the purpose of this project, but we are looking basically for the agents in the country with the local people with whom we can cooperate and promote our activities. So if any one of you will hear about the good company working in the field of water and wastewater treatment, in general environment protection. So you may contact NUCC and then Cambi or myself directly. We are very interested in business partners in the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jacek. From the water, from clean water to water of life, isn't that what I call it? Wine. Like I said, it's some years ago. It was, or let me start again. There are so many people here today, and that's really, really amazing to see. And there are so many stories suddenly. And I think a lot of us in administration felt that it was that it was the strong companies that were strong. They were managing so much themselves, and we were trying to push forward, like which other things can we do to support Ukraine. After some time, we see that things are starting to move, like was mentioned here with Norfund is now here today. We have knocked on the door several times, but it's also starting to move in other surprising ways that we can be a little bit proud of and happy to share. Even Heggbom, Perfect Wines AS. It had to be Ukrainian because it was Perfect Wines. I'm guessing you maybe have some other also. You're the owner of this company, but you're also an entrepreneur. You're an investor. You have. We spent 12 hours together on the train to Kyiv. So you have a lot of projects. I know this. But you actually called me in NUCC in 2024. It was a little bit unexpected. Because you said that you had read about a wine conference in Kyiv. Sorry to say, even if I'm project manager or now senior advisor on seafood and agriculture, I didn't know that there was a wine conference in Kyiv just some weeks after. But you had some questions about that. You had some questions about Ukrainian wine production and quality. I'm not a connoisseur, so I told you that, yeah, you kind of have to go and check it. And then you asked me, is it possible to travel to Ukraine now? And it is. That's what we proved. And then you also connected some other companies. I contacted companies, and we had the small delegation going to try Ukrainian wine in Ukraine. So, Evan, who are you, and what made you look to Ukraine?
Yeah, first of all, I have been working in the Norwegian tourist industry for about 35 years. I've been developing ski resorts and a few hotels and restaurants, but I'm also a wine drinker. As you can see, I drink a lot. I still have these. But I read in the newspaper, the Dagens Næringsliv, that the Danish, the Polish, everybody are working very much to make business with the Ukrainians, but the Norwegian did not. And I thought, what can I do? And I have also a partner in Greece, and he had been many, many times in Ukraine drinking wine. And he told me that in Ukraine, they have produced wine since 400 years before Christ. That's longer than the French, probably. It's a long, long tradition, especially in the south area around Odessa. So I contacted NUCC, and they was so helpful, and they organized the whole trip to Ukraine. And of course, this is a country in war, and we was reading a lot about that in the newspaper and about the situation. And I thought this was a really country in war, also visually. But to be honest, the first 24 hours, I didn't see much war. It was so clean. It was so, as people was planting flowers in the parks. It was no garbage. The bakery was open. The wine bar was open. The people were so friendly. It was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, my next question. That's great, because my next question was, it's a country with war. What did you feel about that? And you weren't worried. You told about the experience, but were you? Yeah.
First of all, you prepared us very well. We had to go through the situation, how we should act. We got an app with an alarm on. We got an alarm when we was going to a restaurant. We was in a restaurant. It was the NUCC and the embassy who organized that. A fantastic restaurant, and it was packed of people and a group of Norwegians. And when the alarm came on, we, of course, Norwegian, we was trained, and we had to go down to the bomb shelter immediately. The rest of the restaurant was sitting there. It was the waiter who followed us down to the bomb shelter, and he asked us when we was waiting there, "You want some wine?" And we said, "Of course." So he went back.
And not one.
No. So people was looking at us a little bit strange because we went to the bomb shelter. The rest, they was giving a damn. But of course, this alarm rings every day, many times during the day. They cannot run up and down to the bomb shelters.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, interesting perspective. We are, of course, well aware that there are horrors going on in Ukraine. Also, that there are casualties every night. But I think, as you say, for Norwegian traveling in to include themselves with Ukrainian partners, that's absolutely possible. So we went to the wine conference, and they said everyone was surprised that we were there, Norwegians. They said that they think there was one other guy there from Sweden, but no one actually met that guy. So there actually we were in forefront of Sweden and Norway. And then you were, like you do in a typical conference or expo, trying wine, and you found a company, a family company.
It's a lot of companies doing wine in this region. But we found one, the name was Villa Tinta in Odessa. They produce many different wines that produce based on the traditional grapes we know about, Chardonnay, for example, Riesling, and those kind of grapes. But they also have special grapes. Odessa Black, for example, you don't find it many other places in the world. Sukulomansky, it's another grape, fantastic wine drinking on a summer day like this, without any food, just drink it. Not one bottle, but 2 bottles. It's fantastic. It's only 12% alcohol. We imported 100 for about 10,000 euros the first day. And again, these are very friendly, polite people. And 10,000 euros, we didn't know each other. And they didn't ask about the payment details. So they didn't invoice us before the bottles was in Norway. That's fantastic.
They took all the risk.
They took the risk.
Took all the risk on it.
Yeah, because it was a little bit trouble to get it out, and they didn't guarantee when and so on. But anyway, this is fantastic wine, fantastic people. But importing wine and alcohol to Norway, it's not that easy. Well, it's easy to import, but it's a little bit difficult to sell it. And I can see it's some politicians here today. And for you guys, it's necessary to get the volume out of this. We need to sell through the shelves for Vinmonopolet. If not, if we don't have any bottles in the shelves, well, we don't sell that much. So at the moment, we are selling only to restaurants and some hotels. But this is an easy thing to do because we need to get a tender about Ukrainian wine. No tender, no shelves. This person in Villa Tinta, we have another colleague in Sweden, and from this company they sell about 60,000 bottles of wine from Ukraine in Systembolaget in Sweden. So it's a very easy thing to do. Why can't they do that in Norway? And I saw the launch pad now. I got it last week. The launch plan for wine in Vinmonopolet for the next 6 months. No Ukrainian wine. So please, politicians, take your phone and say that no, stop joking, just go out with a tender of Norwegian wine.
And this,
Sorry, Ukrainian wine.
and this might sound like a guy who tries to sell his wine here in Norway, and it is also, but it is also a concrete result. Family business in the Odessa region that has been heavily hit by the war. And we had dinner with them afterwards, invited them together with the embassy, and for them it meant a lot that a Norwegian company came to Ukraine, chose their product because it was a great product, and now start to import it to Ukraine. Doesn't have to be that much more difficult sometimes. Thank you, Evan. As a small picker, you will of course try this wine after. You will.
We have a lot of wine.
Yeah, we have a lot of wine. Yeah. As we opened our trade hub business hub in Ukraine, together with Innovation Norway, we also got some new employees. And not only do we have clusters here today, we also actually, if you were in Kyiv today, it would be my stare today. But this is one of those days where everyone is in Norway. And we have with us Natalia Babanina. You started to work with us about 2-3 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
2 months ago, so it's only 2 months. Feels like you worked here longer already. Yeah, you're the project manager of our new office. Welcome to Norway.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are representing most of us there in Kyiv. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and some takeaways from your new position? This is not a job interview, by the way. It's just to hear some perspectives from you.
Thank you, Andres, for the beautiful introduction. And yeah, hello everyone. And it's truly like a big pleasure for me to take part in the NUCC annual assembly as a project manager of the recently opened Norwegian-Ukrainian Business Hub in Kyiv. And to be honest, I just want to say that it's a very timely milestone to open the hub, and just to say that the outcome that you mentioned is that Ukrainian business is ready for this. I mean, despite the full-scale war that is unfortunately continues, the company is just not standing still and waiting for something. They are continuing. They are like innovating. They are adapting and open for cooperation. And
yeah. And how is the level of activities in Ukraine? Is it quiet days in the office, or do you?
Yeah, it's absolutely busy. I can say that it's a lot of activities is going on like across the country. There's various sectors and a lot of forums and like expos going on. And yeah, what can we say? We can contribute, and we being in the center of all the activities can be very much like a support for both Norwegian and Ukrainian companies to find partnership.
And when you meet Ukrainian companies, what's their thoughts, or how do they? What are they looking for when they visit your office? What are they looking for from Norway?
Well, yeah, companies they are ready for a partnership, but still there is a like region gaps that we are helping to cover, and we have activities already set. So what can offer to Ukrainian, for example, companies? We can offer them the capacity building course. It was already pilot project in April in Kyiv, and we are continuing, as already was mentioned, for within the regions, just to provide them information on how to enter the Norwegian market, how to find partners, how to actually face all the challenges actually the exporters do. And we also offering B2B matchmaking that can support with the right partnership. Yeah, so that's what we do.
Yeah. And you mentioned capacity building course. This is maybe a word many here have heard a lot today, and maybe a little bit earlier, but it could maybe be a little bit difficult to understand what does it mean to build capacity. One of the ideas behind this was in our strategy seminars, we have discussed that once we see Norwegian and Ukrainian companies starting to work together, it's usually very successful stories coming from it. People who has used Ukrainian suppliers or vice versa, they often see that they build long-term relationships. One of the main challenges has been that we see that a lot of the Ukrainian companies that has either the product or the service of very high quality often are not so used to operating towards our markets. This is also something that has changed after, especially after 2022, but probably after 2014 also. But that many companies, they have things that we need, and we are trying to help them to find a way to communicate that to us. I think because of time, we are actually very good on time. Do we have any questions for the panel here today? Do you guys have any comments or something that you would like to add?
I want to tell lots of things. Look to organize this event and invite us, and we hope we prolong our communication and to build sustainable partnership between our country.
Yes, we are very
your members.
We are very thankful to have you here also. So I think then it's actually okay to let people speak one-on-one and have some networking. We will have some Ukrainian wine from a family farm in Odessa, from a special grape that's only grown in Odessa. And then we look forward to speak with as many of you as we can, and hope to create more stories for next year's General Assembly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.